Stephanie White hopeful for Caitlin Clark return before end of regular season. That's how Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White responded Sunday when asked if All-Star Caitlin Clark would be back before the end of the regular season, which is just 23 days away. Clark has been sidelined for over a month after injuring her right groin at the end of July 15's win against the Connecticut Sun. She's missed 13 straight games, bringing her total up to 22 after dealing with 2 other lower body injuries earlier in the season. The most important thing is that she's 100% when she's ready to come back, White said before Sunday game in Connecticut. The timing is never ideal, but the long-term health and wellness is the most important thing. The Fever are focused on continued patience. Clark rushed to return earlier in the season after her first 2 injuries. This time around the team wants to ensure she's at her best when she comes back. I think the experience throughout the year trying to come back quickly taught her that she needs to make sure she's 100%, White said. Yes, every competitor wants to play. But at the same time, doing it the right way and making sure that after we've had a couple of setbacks that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness is the most important thing. After Sunday's overtime win against the Sun, the Fever are now 11-11 without Clark on the floor. They're currently 6th in the WNBA standings with 9 games left in the regular season. Clark was averaging 16.5 points, 5.0 rebounds, and 8.8 assists per game in 13 games that she has been able to play this season. Next up, the Fever host the Minnesota Lynx, the number 1 team in the league, Friday, August 22 at 7:30 p.m. in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Caitlin Clark and Fever coach pour out emotions after stunning 21-point comeback win. The Indiana Fever had an easy stretch of games at home. The goal was to win those games, which would help them maintain a good playoff position until Caitlin Clark returns from her groin injury. However, the loss of both their backup point guards to season-ending injuries complicated matters, and they lost 2 out of those 3 games. The only one coming against the struggling Chicago Sky. There was genuine fear that their form and injury problems could see them slide out of a playoff spot. The concern could be exacerbated when considering the form teams below them were in. They took a trip to Connecticut to face the Sun, knowing they had to win. However, in the first quarter they were dealt another blow when Sophie Cunningham went down clutching her right knee and had to be helped off the court. She did not return, and the Fever struggled in her absence. They fell back by as much as 21 points halfway through the third quarter, and it seemed as if they were staring at a third straight loss. After a timeout, the group started staging a comeback. By the end of the third quarter, that deficit was down to single digits. Kelsey Mitchell and Aliyah Boston continued that rally and managed to tie the game at the end of regulation. In overtime, Mitchell went off and helped the team build a lead they held on to end up winning the game, 99-93. After the game, Caitlin Clark wrote this on X. The 23-year-old was not courtside as she traveled to be with her boyfriend Connor McCaffrey, whose grandmother had passed. Her post indicates that she was overjoyed that her team could win after facing such adversity. Fever's head coach sheds tears speaking to players after win. Caitlin Clark should return to the team once the family commitments are over. She is not close to returning to play as her team struggles to win games. The Indiana Fever needs her to return, but will not rush her back to play. Knowing how this has been a trying season, the last thing the franchise needed was another injury. But to come back after that setback and then win in overtime was an example of grit and desire. Head coach Stephanie White was emotional while speaking with players after the game. The 48-year-old coach has seen her team will itself to wins despite the plethora of injuries they faced for much of the season. But Sophie Cunningham's injury has added to their woes and will be something to watch out for.